All right, we're live. So, this is a surprise to everyone, including ourselves, but Cam here was pleasantly surprised by a PSA submission from a Will ways back that actually came there. Was it so how exactly did that news unfold when you saw it?
Yeah, I mean, we were just on air last night, and I didn't expect to be talking to you again this soon. I think it was just like a friend had posted in one of our sports card Slack chats that his PSA order was in processing. I think you had posted maybe years in advance, so I had totally forgot about this order. I sent this in almost over a year ago. Last November is when I sent it. February is when it started processing. So it's just been off my mind mostly. And I log on, and sure enough, it's not only done, but it's being shipped. And it actually had shipped, and it was at my front door, and I had no idea, because usually when you're waiting on these orders, you're tracking them like a watchdog, you know where it is every step of the way. But Christmas came early, and 27, I believe it's 27 all Star Wars CCG cards. I haven't looked.
Maybe we're in for some surprises. Who knows? We'll find out.
Maybe.
But you're right. Watching it like a watchdog, as my order is still in the grading phase. One of these days it'll advance, and you better believe I'm going to be tracking that every bit of the way. And yeah, you're right, because there's been a lot of buzz today because the PSA is advancing and bringing their grading back to, well, it may never get quite back to where it was before the whole pandemic rush, but they brought back their regular tier, I believe, which is 100 per card. But it seems like there's some sort of a virtual queuing system. I'm not too familiar with that, but you said there might be something analogous to that in some other services elsewhere.
So my interpretation of that, and I could be totally wrong. All I read was the email you sent me. Is that a lot of the NFT things like Top Shot use a queue, and I know some other grading systems used a queue before. I think it was HGA when they were backlogged. And it's basically you're registering in a queue, random number generates you a spot in line. And if you're, the first 1,000 people in line, you have the opportunity to buy. It doesn't mean you have to buy. So then like if you're, 1,200th in line, maybe you still get a chance. So it's just a way of fairly regulating demand through kind of random number assignments. And again, I could be wrong here. I know other grading companies have done it, and I think that's what they meant by their announcement. So I think they're easing in with that plus the $100 fee, which I've heard mixed feedback on. Some people are like they got it just right, but most people are saying it's still a little too high to consider for most items.
Right. In terms of Star Wars CCG, unless you're really, I don't think the market's kind of like modern, say, sports, where it's really volatile and the timing really matters. And as far as, expected value of the cards, it's a little bit indeterminate at the moment. So probably not too many people would be, I imagine, submitting at the $100 per tier. But I guess you could imagine it for cards like Imperial class Star Destroyer foil or Japanese Darth Vader or things like that. It might be useful.
Right. It just depends on the time value of money, and each situation will be different. For Star Wars CCG, maybe you use a cheaper service that's available now if you're in a rush. But this is a good sign. Maybe a PSA's back soon. I have no idea how long until they would drop rates. I've heard rumors of group bulk submissions getting back down to $10, and they're just rumors at this point. And I've heard rumors of stuff going live again in January. So it feels like the wheels are in motion. I think you have to start considering PSA again. But like you said, there's not many Star Wars CCG cards I would currently use at that price rate.
Right, exactly. Yeah, it's been a great day for graded returns. We heard that Rafi may be having some cards back. Don't want to do any spoilers on that, but hopefully he can show us some of those returns as well. It'd be lovely to see all these cards coming back to our community after their long expedition away at the grading companies.
Yeah, we definitely got to get Rafi on here, and shout out Rafi for this is just a little part of the Christmas gift. He sent me really awesome, really cool gift. Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Thanks so much, Rafi. Also, Pokenomics on YouTube. Go check his channel out.
Yes, definitely great Pokemon investment strategy channel and content there.
Indeed. So, Cam, I heard you. You didn't actually look at any of the grades yet. Is that correct? You're kind of going into this blind?
So we were talking about it off air, but the only thing I wanted to avoid embarrassment wise, because it's been so long since I sent these in, I didn't even remember what I sent. It's been over, year and 4 months. I've learned a lot about grading since then, so I wanted to make sure I didn't have just like all sixes coming back or something. It's terrible. So I covered up the names and I looked at the first two grades and I saw a 9 and a 10. I don't know what they're assigned to, but when I saw the 10, I was like, okay, this is safe to at least, present for entertainment value without just totally embarrassing myself. I don't know. I did look at the card list before the grades were on, and I'm pretty sure it's all Star Wars CCG, but I could be wrong. I just kind of went through it quick to get a feel. I saw a Vader. I saw a lot of foils. So I've only ripped a Reflections box twice in my life. Once was way back in the day, probably 27, not way back in the day, but 2017. Mm-hmm. You could still get them at a decent price. And then I ripped one during quarantine just because I was degenerate and bored. And I think that I'm guessing that these foils are related to that box break, and that's the ones that I deemed worthy to send in from there.
Awesome. Well, may the force be with you. We will see how it goes. So I guess we know just as much as Cam does that the first two are a 9 and a 10, but we don't know what the cards are yet. So
assuming they come out in that order, sometimes they'll get shuffled.
That's true.
I opened the box so you guys wouldn't have to watch me fumbling through it for 20 minutes. I'm going to have to cut a couple more things. But for those who haven't used PSA before, just quick review. Obviously, they're extremely reputable, and it's extremely good for backing the investment of your card. Aesthetics aside, there's a lot of it. For the record, I use BGS. I use that PSA. I use SGC, and I'll be using some HGA, as Andy talked about. So I'm really not that biased, but I do feel that protecting your investment, PSA seems the safest by a hair over BGS, but it's kind of like 1A, 1B apples, or like they're kind of, you can't go wrong between the two.
Right. But, yeah, they're definitely the two lead, what do you call it? Pack leaders, big dogs.
Red leader, gold leader. We'll call them
red leader, gold leader. There you go.
They're red and gold, so it's perfect.
Oh, yeah. That does work.
Well done. I'll have to do a red leader PSA 10 and a gold leader BGS 10. Get those next to each other. But yeah, so obviously you can really trust them. That part isn't a worry. The box is when a PSA box arrives. It's heavy duty, which is why I kind of started in here. I've got 2 numbered boxes. Everything's tracked to a T.
That's true. They do pack very well. I've noticed that.
For sure. And they use the heavy security tape. I've never done this before, so I'm going to try to just lower my camera and see how that goes.
Looks good.
Grab this box at random here.
Let me pop you up on the main screen here.
Okay. Apologies if the camera is hard to focus. Here we go. All right. Nope. Well, why don't you talk about the state of grading for a minute here while I finagle this impenetrable box open. Oh,
sure. Yeah. Oh, there you go. All right. Quick hands. As you can tell, Cam's handled a lot of graded cards in his day.
I try to be careful. I like handling graded more than like packs because you don't have to worry about the content. It looks okay. I see something there. All right. Let's see. Tilt that down a little more.
Card inside. So does that mean you got one that got rejected?
So I believe that's a great question. Since it's a playable card game, I am of the personal belief I'm not going to keep like a PSA 6 or below. I think on this one I made it only 8s or above. I'd rather not take them out of playing circulation. I think 7's a close call.
Right.
8 is like preserving a raw card to me. 9 is what I collect. I have 8s. I do have 8s, but 9 and above is where I'm really going for and collecting. So I think I told them if there's anything that hits a 7 or below to just not save me the trouble of cracking it, because I'd rather that go in someone's deck or in a deck or just throw it in a complete set kind of. which then goes in a binder, and you can't put a PSA case in a binder. So that was kind of my thought process. That's my thought process with a collectible card game. Now, with vintage sports cards that you don't play with or don't put in binders, and that's a different topic.
Well, it's very thoughtful of you. I don't take back care on mine. I just, it's like the Cloud City carbonite chamber. It's just anything that goes in, it's getting slabbed for me.
Woohoo. So that is initial good news that it was only 2 that got sent back.
That's good. All right. So that means everything else is an 8 or above guaranteed?
I believe so. Okay. There's a chance I said 7. And, every now and then they'll find a fake. One time I had one sent or altered. One time I had one sent back that was I think it was a Qui-Gon Jinn with lightsaber. I don't think it was the tournament foil. And someone had Sharpied it, and I didn't pick it up on the edge, and PSA picked it up and they wouldn't grade it. So.
I see. Yeah, I've had that happen with a few cards because I guess when you're a kid or whatever back in the 90s, it just wasn't the same like atmosphere, so stuff like that just kind of happened. So you're gonna see which cards got sent back first.
Yeah, 2 light side. Where's the camera focused? It looks like we're gonna move it slightly off screen. Okay, is this visible to you?
Yeah, you can see it.
All right, I can't see through here. Princess Organa foil.
Princess Organa foil. Okay.
Min grade.
Okay, so that got below
min grade, and okay. I will look into later why that was. Foils, I still haven't figured out. We've talked a little bit about that. Oh, good start. Not big ones. So, and this one is a Tantive 4.
Tantive 4. Okay, well, yeah. Judge or guessing by what you probably had as the rest of your cards. If everything else is guaranteed or an 8 or above, that's a pretty good start.
I'm okay with missing on those 2. Tantive's probably a borderline one to send in.
Yeah.
All right, let's get to business.
Let's do it.
How's the camera?
Looks fine. Yeah, I can see it. Glare's fine too. Let me just put you up. Okay, there we go. Now you're zoomed all the way.
All right, we're just going to flip them over. And if you have any comments, we'll get into it. Rogue One. This one I grade because of the movie Rogue One. It's one of my favorite of the newer movies.
Mm-hmm.
And I love that, there's a card called Rogue One. I think it's just interesting with the popularity, with how good that movie was. So this is a lot of these are just going to be Reflection 1 foils from a box, straight from a box, if I remember correct.
Okay, if you could tip it up a little bit too, because you can read it somewhat. Okay, there we go. Just to read the text. Awesome. Yeah. Rogue One. So that is, Luke's land speeder or snow speeder, not land speeder. A little bit different. Got the nice shine from the reflections foiling.
That's the title. For me, it's the personal collection movie title card.
Movie title. So you like the movie title aspect of it. That's cool.
Just get my angles right here. Okay. Dark side.
Dark side.
So the number will be here. So if I put my thumb here, this might work.
Nope, okay, Death Star. Okay.
But moving forward.
Mid-9. Not bad.
I love this card. I don't know about you. This is one I can totally see being just desktop art for collectors beyond Star Wars CCG fans.
Yeah, it's a really nice card, and it's one of those ones because it's a dark side location. It looks like it's upside down, but so they put the Death Star part right side up. Okay.
So now I think I'm going to give us more of a sweat.
Okay, IG-88. Not bad.
IG-88 foil boost for Mandalorian.
Yep.
Not him in Mandalorian, but the IG droids were awesome.
Right.
Mandalorian.
That was one of the pulls you were looking forward to from Dagobah packs back in the day.
Yeah, I'm actually starting to get bullish on the idea of ripping Dagobah.
Yeah.
Just because I really, how bad I want that Yoda, but there's a couple of good droids on there. I still think Hoth and Dagobah are your riskier sets.
True.
All right.
Brainiac.
PC one here. This one I just graded a memory of my playing as a kid growing up, and I used Brainiac in a tournament deck, and we had to pause the game for like 5 to 10 minutes to actually calculate his power for a battle. And I was kind of embarrassed at the time, and but like the guy I was playing was a good sport about it, and he loved it, and it's just one of my favorite memories of Star Wars CCG.
Not bad. Mint Brainiac. You were being that kid back in the day.
Yep. And, it's got the pie, Destiny, and I just really love that card for PC reasons. So.
Greedo, that's a classic.
Who shot first? Mint
Yeah.
9.
Mint 9.
All right.
Off to a good start so far.
We ordered these well for drama, it seems, because we've hit in the smaller cards first.
Yeah. Oh, Veers. Mint 9.
A lot of 9s. And you've had a lot of foils come back from grading, so what's your general take on grading with foils?
With PSA, yeah, 9s were attainable. 10s were very rare. And what's kind of strange is, I mean, it's not necessarily strange, but when they did get a 10, I didn't really know what really was it that set it apart. Because some of the 10s, to me, didn't look really. Sometimes they even looked worse than some of the 9s. So it's a little bit of a mystery to me.
Right.
So it would be nice if when we go through these at a later time to see kind of what their criteria were. On solo, what do you got?
1,
Mint
9.
9. So you got that's from your box also.
This one you can see some off centering from, so
Yeah,
I'm happy with the 9 on it.
yeah, that's one of the things with Star Wars CCG in general, but especially certain sets like Reflections 1. Centering is just questionable at times. And then another Han Solo.
See, before I look, centering looks similar, so I'm expecting
Yeah,
it.
Mint 9. Yeah,
I remember this box now.
you remember?
I forget if I got both Hans in the same box, but I do remember getting a Han like at the end, one of the last packs.
Cool, R2D2.
I don't have it. My best R2D2 so far is an 8. Now that's a New Hope, but I want some R2.
Mint 9.
9. What if the only 10 is the one I saw in the second round? The rest are just all 9.
No, let's hope not. We can get some more 10s. Princess Leia. You're mint 8.
So now we know the min.
Okay, well, if you had to, I guess that's one of the better ones to do that. Hold on 1 second.
Oh, we got a big one when you're ready.
DVD lots. All right. Well, hopefully that's a 10. That'd be lovely.
Oh,
No, not bad. Not bad. It's actually a decently hard difficult card to grade from my experience. Like I got a decent amount of 8s on that, so getting a 9 is probably pretty good on that one.
I don't know if you can see the shimmer, but this is a fan favorite for a reason. It's a great looking card, and that one will probably stay in my PC as is. That's a fun card.
It is, yeah. It's got that lovely red and blue, and then the affectionate name of being a choke vader.
Lando, 8.
Okay,
Another decent one to get an 8 on. To your point,
yeah. It's got all that foiling, that bright foiling on there that could be really easy to see imperfections on.
This back centering looks off. I'm wondering what's going on here. Oh, it was a Luke, so I probably felt obligated to send it in.
Yeah.
Guessing this isn't going to be a 10, but we'll be happy. Oh, that's a good 9.
Solid.
I saw the bottom specifically looks thin there.
Yeah.
But
yeah, the reflection centering is real rough at times.
It's a great card for a 9.
Yep.
All right. Another R2. This is the Jabba's Palace version foil from Reflections 1. Mint 9. Oh, the infamous Captain Han Solo.
That'd be a great one to get a 10 on. 9's pretty good too, though.
So if I don't know if you sold one of the recent ones, but this in non-foil is going for 130 now. Obviously, scarcity sets are different. What do you think this one should be worth in the open market?
If the regular one's going for 130, I think a Reflections one might still be a little bit more scarce than a Cloud City one, even with Wild Thing Games contributing. So if that sense, I think once there's enough buyers, it would be probably in the mid-hundreds. I think would be a reasonable price for that.
All right. Mid-hundreds, like 150, you mean?
Yeah, maybe around there. Probably a little bit more than the non-foil version, if I had to guess. But ooh, that's a good one. Is that the Jabba Palace version?
This is that I think we might be. Maybe we're done with foils if they organize them this way, because I know there's a lot of non-foils too.
Jabba's Palace version.
Fan favorite card for obvious reasons. I'm a proponent of. I don't think we should be calling it Slave Leia anymore.
It's true. What is a more progressive term to call it? I don't know.
Princess Leia Organa for now.
Princess Leia Organa.
But obviously, a fan favorite for a lot of reasons.
Right. 9. Can't complain about that.
Oh,
Oh, all right, there you go. That's another one that's going to be really hot around the holidays.
oh
9,
man, so many
solid.
nines, so many nines.
Well, you
But
know you got at least 110, so there's that. You got that going for you. White border executor.
replies
That's
executor. Andy's favorite card.
mid 9.
That was just such good art. I had it graded for that reason. You know, I'm chasing Yodas, so this one
Yep,
is. I still don't have any Yoda 10s. I still
mid
don't.
9. Oh, you just have to submit more cards then.
Man, they're making it sweat here. We got these cards ordered right for dramatic effect.
Oh yeah, building up. All right, R2D2.
Just
This
saying,
is
this
one.
one might be hard to grade. I haven't seen it.
JP said it was not as hard as Chewy, but my and I think yours as well, kind of experience, it's not been easy to get good grades with this card for some reason.
Boom.
Oh, until now.
There we go. That saves me a hassle. My best has been an 8 today, and this is obviously a target character. I'm
Yep.
very happy about that. I will be keeping that one for quite some time.
No, well done, Cam. It's always a pleasure to have a gem mint main. Gem mint of any card, but a main character.
Could we do it with this character, maybe?
Oh,
Could
all
we
right. Well, there we
history?
go. Pay extra attention to this one, guys. This is a notoriously difficult card to grade. 8s are kind of what I've got out of pack many times. 9s would be good, but a 10 would be like
I
earth
think this
shattering.
is the one that looked pretty good. I mean, it's not centered well. It's a little white on the top.
All right. Well, let's see.
Yeah.
9.
Still, 9 Vader. I mean, this is a pretty dang good one. There is just this little white at the top, I think, was the only issue I really saw. But hey,
well done.
it's a big one.
Another one. Oh, no, this is Japanese Vaders. This one is the actual one, like the non-foil, right?
Yep, Premier Japanese. Bang!
Oh, man. Gem Mint 10.
Woo!
Well done on that. So
Running
that's
the
a pretty
Japanese
penny.
grades on your show. We had the Japan Commander Luke, and now the Japan Vader. That's huge.
That is huge. That's awesome. So that one, I mean, gosh, like, I mean, so Japanese, there's certainly, for those who aren't aware, the Japanese cards are significantly more scarce than the English ones because of, well, more limited print run, and if they're in Japan, less cards make it over. Although I guess you could pull them from Reflections 2 boosters. But yeah, that's incredible, because I think the raw card's going for what, maybe close to 1,000, somewhere between a few hundred to $1,000 now. So,
and we say the 10 multiplier can be as high as what, 10x?
Yeah. So
7 to 10.
Who knows? Definitely hold on to that one.
Would you mind doing a PSA lookup on the population while I'm doing the next one? Just I'm not sure. We've seen a BGS good, and I'm not sure what we've seen PSA wise and how many of these exist. That makes I don't care about these next 3 cards right now, I don't think. So I'll go ahead and do this. Oh, okay. Han Solo Premiere. 9.
Not bad.
I have a 10 of this in white border. I don't know if I have a 10 in black, but it's obviously a really good one to have.
Anytime you can pull a 9 or above in a Premiere, you're pretty happy. I mean, those packs are dangerous to open. Just hope they don't have something really odd on them. Let's see.
Down to 2 cards. Good old Millennium Falcon. Make sure, yep, Premiere. Boom! Oh, what a nail day.
What'd you get? Oh, you got a 10 on a Premiere main. Wow.
I love the Falcon. I just love the way it looks in there. I mean, if you want to talk about an art card, I think I have this in a foil 10. We're very excited about this. And if you can't tell, I'm very excited about this.
I think that's one of Rafi's favorite cards as well. So, yeah, it's a solid choice there.
And these were graded at the $20 mark back in the day.
Nice return.
Last one. Vader's custom tie. 9.
Not bad.
So I will just recap the big ones, I think, were the misses, where I had 2 that graded below an 8. But we made up for it with the whale. Not the whale. Still Premier Japan Vader is still seeming to be the elusive one. Falcon, an R210s, and a Premier Vader 9, which it's a really nice looking one. I wouldn't be shocked if it gets a 9.5 at BGS.
It's really nice. Yeah, I mean, for various reasons, I mean, the Japanese Vader to get that into 10 is just amazing for, well, I mean, those are really hot in the kind of the small Star Wars CCG community right now because of just the um, small amounts of them that exist out there and that sort of factor. And then the anytime you get a 10 in a Premier main, I mean, I haven't gotten one, and I've submitted quite a few, so that's quite impressive. And I know you paid quite a bit of attention to that as well. It's just
Mm-hmm.
so difficult to pull them in good condition out of the pack.
It is, and the biggest tease I've had. I don't know if you or JP have. I did listen to the whole JP interview. I wonder. I don't know if he talked about this though. Is I pulled a Luke and a Black Order Premier out of a pack. This was in the order before this. My first one. I was still learning about grading. I put it instantly in case per usual, and I was staring at it, and there's no way you could tell me it wasn't a 10. It was the best looking Luke I've ever seen. Kind of like a unicorn in that regard. Initial data is Luke might be easier to grade than Vader based on what we're seeing, but irregardless, big hit. Send it in and got an 8. Well, I come back, I turn it over, and there's just terrible off centering on the back. So that was when I learned my lesson that you got to check the backs too, and Premiere especially.
Right. Yeah. There's just so many things that could come out of the pack. Like they have these little printer dots on them sometimes, the little colored, little bubbly looking things on them, or strange whitening. But that's so in that sense, the Japanese Vader 10 is probably maybe more exciting just from how much the cards probably would go for on the market. But a Millennium Falcon 10 is probably maybe a much more difficult on a per card basis pull to get. So, but anyways, congratulations on all the cards. I'm really happy you were able to share that. It was a pleasant surprise hearing that today, that you got your returns back, and kind of a pleasant surprise to you even.
Yeah, I was really caught off guard, and I think that Vader definitely made it worth it alone. What do you think? How would you rate this submission by me?
I think it's pretty solid. Like when I had my last batch come back, I think I had about, trying to recall how many of my cards were Star Wars, maybe around a couple hundred. And of that, I think maybe I had, gosh, I'm trying to recall. The amount of 10s is very low. Like you can't expect, even if you're really great at inspecting them, like, JP, like at least at PSA, the techs are very, both capricious and unforgiving. So
Yeah.
sometimes you look at it and it's a 9 and you're like, I have no idea why this isn't a 10. And sometimes you'll get a 10 and you're like, well, I don't know why this one got a 10, but that one didn't. So, you can kind of do those all those calculations in your head on like, what if that one got one? What if this got one? But at the end of the day, I think what you got was a pretty good run with only 2 cards out of your 27 or whatever, 30, whatever it was at the time, not making the cut, and then getting 3. Is it 3 or 4 10s? Did you get 3 or 4 10s?
I think it was 3 10s and a black.
That's right, 3 10s, and then you got the Vader 9. So I think that's really solid.
2 sub, but they were honestly the best, maybe the best cards, at least Tangent 4 to get below an 8. And I'll have to dive into what I missed looking at those later.
Right, because I pulled the Vaders I had on my submission last time. I got 8s. I'm pretty sure all of those were pack fresh, and it's just very difficult. So congrats on that, and definitely enjoy those for the time being. Are you planning on selling any of these cards or auctioning them, or what are kind of your plans for your return this time?
So I'm a collector. I play probably some, but not much anymore. I'm a collector. I have all the sets. My thought process was a couple years ago to get my favorite cards graded, because I don't want to flip through like a complete set to see a Yoda on the last page or something like that. And then, at this point, I think it's all the main characters and all my favorite cards, like Brainiac, for example. I want at least a 9 of, and I'm long-term obviously trying to upgrade that to a 10. So it's a work in progress. I sell when I don't have a 10 of something. So like I'm a big on the Endor foils. Rafi and you kind of got me on the scarcity of those. I love how they look. They have a different foil than the rest of the foils. So I'm just using an example here, but I bought a 3PO 9 foil, which is really hard to get. Not as hard as Captain Han, or General Han, but bought that in a 9 and planned to keep it, and then a 10 popped up. And so I grabbed the 10 and I'm going to sell the 9. So that's kind of how, like, I'm not like a hoarder. Like, I kind of like to I'm like OCD efficiently collect. Like I go very aggressively, but I also don't like to have waste. So I will analyze my collection. If you see me selling on eBay, it's probably means I already have it, basically, or I have it in a better grade.
Oh, that sounds great. Yeah, I mean, it's always fun to go for those main character cards, and yeah, it's great that you have some cards also that kind of speak to your childhood, like the Brainiac card. That's a pretty funny story on that. I'm sure do they have Brainiac on GIMP? I think have they even programmed it in? I'm not sure, but maybe you can test it out. Go run into some games and make people do math. Although it'll probably calculate it for you if they've integrated it. So
yeah, I would imagine it's not actually. There's more complicated things to program than that, because it is, at the end of the day, it's basic math. It just was embarrassed like having to delay a game to do said basic math.
That's true. Like Bane Malar, I think, was the one that was a little difficult to program in, and they finally got him in, I think, within the last year sometime. I'm not sure exactly when, but yeah, cool. Yeah, thanks for sharing that with us, Cam. That was awesome. Yeah, we were originally going to do this maybe tomorrow, and then it was like, well, maybe this evening, and we kept pulling it back towards, because I didn't want to make Cam wait to look at his grades. And it's a good thing too, because he had some good ones in there.
Well, thank you for moving up. I definitely would not have been able to wait if you hadn't, but hopefully your submission will be here soon. You've got a big one coming back, right?
Yeah, that's right. It's got 357 cards in it, but I think the vast majority of them are Star Wars CCG. Yeah, it'll be kind of fun. Yeah, hopefully it progresses past the grading stage. It's been in that for probably 3 or 4 months now, so it's just a matter of having faith in the stochasticity of PSA that the techs favor my pile over the next one. So one of these days, fingers crossed, I'm going to definitely have a big stream when that comes back. Maybe have some box openings, more pack giveaways, that sort of thing. Speaking of which, we had a offer on the last video to like, comment, and subscribe. Probably on the next video, maybe in the next week or two, we'll be drawing numbers to give those packs away based on the comments. So make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Maybe I'll even do one for this video too. So how about this? If you like, comment, and subscribe on this video, just kind of like Fatty's doing, I'll send you a Premier starter deck if you're the lucky person. So like, comment, and subscribe. And yeah, thanks for the opportunity to show us your cards, Cam. That was great use of a Friday evening, if I say so myself.
Yeah, that's fun. That's why what graded's all about. Like, it's more fun getting these boxes back than opening a sealed box for me. At least right now, the exponential value add when you hit a 10. I mean, just basic math. It's always very subjective, but an 8 is around 1 to 2x raw for me. 9's like probably what do you 3x, and a 10 can be as much as 10x. What kind of ranges do you use there? But yeah, I mean, thanks for having me. It's just an adrenaline rush on pulling those.
Yeah, thank you very much, Cam. And yeah, hopefully we can put something together, in the next coming weeks. I know it's the holidays, so maybe things will slow down a little bit. But yeah, I know Andy was saying he might have his collection maybe out of boxes, and perhaps early next year. Who knows? So we got that coming up. Maybe we'll get Jim Colson on, or maybe some of the other guys in the Star Wars CCG groups. So feel free to reach out if you want to chat here on the channel. If not, I'll probably start reaching out to people as well. But either way, have a great holiday season. May the Force be with you all, and hope to see you soon.
May the Force be with you. See you guys.
Take care.